Memories. 34 million views on a video and 596 monthly listeners right now.
If your song isn't part of the viral moment, it doesn't matter. And this is proof. What's going down? Welcome back to the Music Entrepreneur Club podcast, the music business podcast where we talk it because we live it and we give it because we live it. I messed that up again. But all of those things are true. All the aforementioned phrases and slogans, maybe they're not the correct ones, but they are still correct. And we're back for another episode. How are you feeling? Everyone's here. Erinn, I don't know where you are. Dame, I think you're in LA as per usual.
I'm in Atlanta, and me and Dame are trading spaces next Atlanta together for one day.
Yeah, next week is Music Biz. For people that aren't familiar, it's been in Nashville. I heard that back in the day it used to go to different cities, but it's been in Nashville since I've attended. It's not really for artists. You're not going to see too many artists walking around. It's typically for the companies that play in the music space. So I'll be out there. We are hosting an event with Even because Two Lost has a partnership that we are going to announce. I probably announced it too early on this podcast right now, but we do have a partnership coming soon. And I probably should mention also that this podcast is sponsored by Two Lost. So if you want 3 months free music distribution, use the code MEC. But yes, we do have a partnership with Even coming soon, and I still need you guys to download the app and get some feedback on that. But all in all, feeling good this week. Lots of stuff going on. Wait,
hold on. With the Two Lost app, if they download the Two Lost app now, can they sign up via the app and use our code?
Yes, you can use the promo code via that.
So that's going to be down below in the description and pinned as a top comment.
So yeah, I'm doing a lot of prep for Music Biz because there's a lot of partners that I need to meet with on the Two Lost side of things. And if you're in Atlanta, we will be doing an event with Even and 24/7 artists on Wednesday night. So if you're listening to this in time, hopefully you're listening to this right when it drops on Monday. So in a couple of days, we will have an event with 24/7 artists. And hit me up if you don't see the link.
Yeah, pull up on us. I'm doing well too. I'm excited. My birthday is this weekend. And I'm flying my mom out to Austin for our monthly series, Auntie's House. I'm doing it as a celebration of my birthday this time, which is cool because it's happening on Mother's Day. My whole life I had to, abdicate my celebration to my mom because my dad always told me I was selfish for wanting to celebrate my birthday because I wouldn't have a birthday without my mom. So I have a lot of emotional trauma around my birthday. So this year feels very redemptive because my mom agreed to come out to Austin with me. Just got guest listed for Smino on my actual birthday, which is Friday. So I'm really excited about that. Dame, one of your partners, actually put me on the guest list for that show because they work with him. So, yeah, I'm just excited. I have an event with the mayor's office tonight in Atlanta. And then I'm flying to LA, right after my birthday event because I have, a cohort graduation out there for the cohort that I just ended. So my next 8 days are wild because I have events every day. And, but I'm actually grateful. I feel like the last 3 weeks were hectic and chaotic, but I'm super encouraged by the progress that my businesses are making and that I'm making as a person. And even when it's not going as much as I want it to go, it's like I'm figuring it out and grateful for that. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Well, happy early birthday. Was it Chris who put you on the guest list?
No, Chuka.
Oh, Chuka. Oh, dope.
You know Chris?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I need to put more sound effects in here, but early birthday celebration for Erinn. All right, a couple of wins. We need to share our wins or losses. I prefer wins, but if you're turning your loss into a win, that works too. Payne, what you got for us this week?
Erinn goes first.
Oh, I mean, a win is just that I'm in a good headspace and it's my birthday week. My best friend graduates from school today. She decided to go back to college and working full time, doing a lot of stuff, and she's graduating. So super proud of her. So I think I'm winning because I'm just around my people in Atlanta. feel like I have some clarity around my personal direction. Just met with a new team member that I onboarded for my personal brand. So yeah, I'm just winning because I'm keeping it moving, in spite of having some really, really, really tough weeks for the last 2 months.
Okay, this is music related. I had a conversation with a gentleman in the finance world who had invested. It was like a whole plan. I've actually had him on my YouTube to talk about financial literacy for producers and investments and things like that. So I had an annual check-in with him yesterday, and I was terrified, because like when you're a producer or musician or any sort of creative, every dollar you make is connected to an action. It's not like you can just zone out at work. You're like, that $100 that I lost the other day, I spent 5 hours to make that with every single pen stroke on that canvas. Or like I had to chase this promoter down just to get that $50 for that show I did. Or I had to chase that artist down for, 5 months just to get the money for that beat. So when all the stuff with the economy and Trump and Elon just masturbating, they're toxic. That's a foul metaphor, but they fucked everything up. So I'm terrified to look at my financial state. And I was on the phone with the guy and it actually grew beyond what he had projected. So it's a win for me, but overall it's clear that people mess the economy up on purpose and then take advantage because they know how to play the game. But hey, I didn't lose money. I gained. So that was encouraging.
I guess on my side, there's a lot going on right now, and I feel good that my head feels above water at this moment, both personally and professionally. I think I've mentioned I have a little one coming in July, so there's obviously a lot of planning around that, baby showers and things like that, but I have a lot of travel coming up, so balancing my responsibilities as a husband and an expecting father. Can you say expecting father? Is that a thing? Oh, okay.
I think so. Y'all are doing it together.
So yeah, because just, we started dropping a sketch every single day with the whole crew is stupid. That's going well. We have the lesbian homie dropping at the end of the month. So we're planning a premiere around that. On the Two Lost side, we have Music Biz coming up. We have Indie Week coming up. We're planning a Two Lost app launch party in New York. We're going to be present at DreamCon, both on the Big Jaw side and the Two Lost side. I just found out yesterday I have to actually curate the music panel I thought we were just sponsoring a music panel that already exists. Come to find out, I have to create the panel. So there's just a lot going on right now, and I still feel relatively good about everything because there hasn't been too many fires this week. Last week was a different story. This week, not too many fires. So the fact that my head is still above water and I'm still in good graces with the wife, feeling good right now. So that's my wins. I guess that's a lot of wins wrapped up in one. But let's jump into this. The first one is my topic. I came across this video probably just scrolling. But ultimately the headline, what I really want to talk about is being ready for a viral moment. Everybody wants as many views as possible, but are you ready for a viral moment? And this young man, his name is Quincy Isaiah. This video went viral. I don't know how we're defining viral these days. Maybe we can talk about that too after we roll this clip. But go ahead, Payne.
Memories. Yeah. And I look at you, baby.
So yeah, he's singing his song and he lights his pants on fire, and eventually, obviously, it gets too hot for him. And that clip went viral. I started diving into what he has going on. Obviously, that's his most viewed clip. The music doesn't have that much traction. I don't think it's smart to light your pants. I mean, I guess there are definitely precautions you can take. Obviously, people do it in movies and things like that. I don't think he's a professional stuntman or anything, but would you risk setting your pants on or potentially burning your legs for a few views? Let's just start there. Is that something that you would consider? Erinn, if you're managing this cat, he came with this idea. What are you saying?
I got out of management because people couldn't take what I had to say when they had dumbass ideas. And I would just be like, can you keep that same energy? Because how you start is the only way that you can continue to elevate if that's how people find out about you, right? So if you're doing these dumb stunts, that's all people are going to be looking at for you. You know, we talked about it with the uptown, downtown, the dude from Milwaukee, or I can't remember that dance. It's like people don't want to hear him rap respectfully. They want to see him do that dance, right? So it's like if the thing that made your song go viral is you setting yourself on fire and people sharing it and laughing at you, then that means that you want to be a spectacle. So you have to continue to create spectacles. This one endangered your life. It made you look foolish. So you just have to keep upping that. So like you now have become 6'9". And you have to keep that same energy going, right? Like, I do believe that 6ix9ine got some traction for his music. I'm not trying to make it all a spectacle, but truth be told, a lot of people know dude's name and have no idea. Like me, I couldn't name one song, couldn't tell you one lyric the dude 6ix9ine has, but I do know that he's a spectacle. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's smart if your actual desires for your music to grow. I do believe that if you're trying to gain attention, which is what most people want, which is what I was talking about several episodes ago. Like, I wish artists would just be more honest. You just want attention. Like, he's probably stoked the video's going viral, probably doesn't have any follow-up actions or anything in place, but if you want some practical advice, if you make a spectacle and it works out, make sure that you have a solid plan of action and a funnel that you're sending people down. You can be a goof troop for one moment if you actually have the business acumen to maintain the momentum that you create from that. But otherwise, you're just going to have to be goofy for a living. And who wants to be goofy for a living?
Yeah, so that was going to be my main point as well. It's like a lot of people chase virality, but they aren't ready for a viral moment. It's just a moment and it comes and goes. You know, I think Kennedy Ryan does a really good job at capturing attention. She had a video go pretty viral recently with Michael Minnelli, but she has a team that has created a funnel. You know, she's got a great email marketing campaign. So once you get your email, you get like these string of emails going forward that continues to tell her story. I just look, and I'm not trying to bash Quincy Isaiah. I'm looking at his Spotify. He's got 596 monthly listeners, and just listening to a couple of songs and listening to him sing, like, I don't feel like he's ready for a lot of attention. There's still so much artist development. His voice needs to develop. His music needs to develop. So now you get this wave of attention. You get millions and millions of views on you lighting your pants on fire. And like Erinn said, in order to keep that up, people came because they laughed at that. So now you got to do something. Now they think you're in that lane. Now you got to do something else if you want that attention. The attention is not on your music. But if you guys are patient and just build consistently, continue to build your skills, everything get better. You have a system and an infrastructure for funneling that attention into something meaningful, to start building relationships with people. That's what's going to help over time. So you need to genuinely ask yourself, are you even ready for a viral moment? You want a viral moment. You want a lot of people to be looking at you. But honestly, ask yourself and your team, like, are you guys even ready? If 1 million people looked at you right now, like, what are you going to do with that attention?
I would disagree with just the notion that viral moments are helpful. I thought at one point, maybe in the earlier era of the internet, when virality even started becoming a thing before there was a word for it, it was helpful for musicians. Now there are so many viral moments. People are looking for viral moments because memes are in an entire genre of entertainment that are disconnected from whatever communities these respective meme main characters exist in. So what I'm saying is, people see someone lighting their pants on fire. They see just a meme they're scrolling past. Haha, that's cool. Let's share it. But they're not looking for any more depth behind the person in that particular short little clip. And so you hear artists all the time say, I just need a viral moment. I need a viral moment. You don't need a viral moment. The only viral moment that a musician can benefit from nowadays, and this is my opinion, leave a comment if I'm way off, but the only viral moment I think that matters is a song going viral. If your song isn't part of the viral moment, it doesn't matter. And this is proof because Quincy Isaiah has gone viral. Look, his Instagram strategy is great. If he could tie that into his music, things would be going really well for him. But you can look at the numbers. Him lighting his pants on fire has exceeded 34 million views. That's a lot. And if you look at the people who are commenting on that particular reel, it's people in the music business. It's D-Tech. It's Business Boys, people that I know personally. He has another viral moment that's at 8.5 million. And the caption is, bro almost cried. Toronto's a horrible place. Of course, people are going to click on that. I don't think that translates into, as Dame said on Spotify, he has somewhere around 540 monthly listeners. So it doesn't translate.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a wild discrepancy, right? Like 34 million views, 34 million views on a video and 596 monthly listeners right now. And
that actually surprised me. I thought you were about to say he had like 80,000, 90,000. I actually think that could work because he can leverage that. He's like, I got 500,000 monthly listeners. I'm going viral consistently.
No, 500 monthly listeners.
No, 596, not
what?
1,000.
Wait, 500, not 500,000. Yo.
Yeah, not 596.
No, it doesn't translate.
I anticipated.
It doesn't translate.
I have more monthly listeners on Spotify than that for Build Your Own Dreams.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no 1,000, just the 596.
Oh, I thought you were saying 500,000. I was like, oh, okay, 500,000 monthly listeners. That's not that bad. This is insane.
I think if he just, this is a lesson. Like, look, man, there's some momentum there. It's not the kind of momentum that I think he wants, because that would be translatable momentum that would move from the spectacle of the memeable reels to his music. And since that's not working, then hopefully he's back to the drawing board, considering his intentions when he creates content like this. And hopefully he's working on following up. The sad part is, here's what I would advise against. If you get to this, 34 million and growing is a lot. But if the next videos you post and they have more to do with your music end up getting 2,000 or 5,000 or something that's not even close, that's fine. That's not a failure as
Just
long
quit
as
and be a comedian. That's what I was saying last week. Quit immediately. Pivot into being a comedian.
I'm saying, like, there are artists that will post reels that get a small fraction, 5,000, 10,000 views from their fans, not 34 million. So people would look at those numbers and be like, oh, Quincy Isaiah is doing way better than this other person. But this other person's getting booked for shows. They have 100,000 monthly listeners, because these numbers don't translate. Vanity metrics aren't real when it comes to a music career. They're just not. Viral moments aren't real either if they're disconnected. So all I'm saying is, if you're Quincy Isaiah, or if you're someone in a similar position to him, if you want to pivot, like Erinn says, pivot, but the next couple times, it looks like he has a recent reel, and most of his, they're doing well. There's one of him with a guitar with 34,000. There's one of him singing with 39,000. That's fine. That's to me, I would settle for 100 of those in a year rather than 3 of those pants on fire 35 million viral moments, because those are going to feed your career.
Well, this should just be, hopefully, a dose of reality for Quincy and his team. You had 34 million people watch you recently, and you had the link to your latest song in your bio, and it translated to pretty much nothing, right? So you really have to look at what you're currently doing and figuring out what's broken. I'm going to tell you the truth is probably the music, right? I mean, and granted, there's going to be more people interested in watching somebody set their pants on fire than are interested in your genre of music. So you came across a lot of people that ain't going to rock with you, even if you sing the best, right? But I'm sure there are people in that 34 million that like R&B music or like the genre of music that you make. And if it was quality, you would have been able to convert way more of those views into actual, at least the beginning of potentially being a fan.
I definitely
Maybe.
would have lit myself on fire when I was that age.
I don't know if that's true though, because I feel like sometimes I just don't want another song, and I love music. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to click the link to go to your profile to dig through to see, like, if you have a really dope song, like I heard a song in somebody's reel last week, and I've played that song. I went 48 hours where that was the only song that I played. I had like obsessively play songs. The person who posted it wasn't the artist. They're just a curator that drops a playlist. Last song of the rundown, I was like, this is amazing. But it was just easy for me because I heard the song and it was great. I don't necessarily want to watch something funny or enjoyable or whatever, relatable, and then be like, oh, they're an artist? I actually like this song that they have in here. Oh, let me go follow them on Spotify. Let me listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I love a song, for sure. But I feel like, and the artist that I found is like 17,000 monthly listeners. Like, and I'm obsessed now, right? But so I'm not saying that it has to be a numbers thing when it comes to how big you are. I just think, I agree with you, Dame. I feel like a lot of people aren't ready for their moment and the music isn't that good. But I also sometimes feel like artists are only just like, listen to my new track. I don't care. I don't want to listen to your new track. I don't want to be sold to. I don't like, so that's why I think another reason that this like did well is because people are just engaging with this dude being a goofy human, right? People just are like, haha, this is funny. It doesn't require them it doesn't require a transaction from them. I feel like artists don't recognize that it's a sacrifice, even if it's tiny, for people to engage with your music, because it requires them to go to another platform, carve out time, find your profile, especially if your name is difficult to spell, and then hit play. And then also, if you have no monthly listeners, no status, whatever, the vast majority of humans will immediately just jump off your page, because I'll be like, so if you got 500 monthly listeners, they're going to be like, I'm not even going to press play. And it could be amazing, but I don't know. I think there's like a lot more psychology that goes into it. And I think artists underscore that. Like, please stop just posting your music. Like, I think that's another thing I would pull from this. It's cool that he's not only posting his music, because he's not only, like, I think you got to be telling other parts of your story. But I don't know. I think the whole thing is kind of goofy. I can't believe dude has 38 million and less than 1,000 monthly listeners. That's insane to me.
I think a lot of people are listening to what you just said and be like, I'm about to get these bots and get it to run up. If people ain't going to listen to me, if I only have 500 monthly listeners, I got to get these bots to run up numbers on my...
Waste your money if you want to, but we can tell the music is boof too. I'm just saying it's more than, it's like multiple things. Like, I was talking to my brother about traffic ads the other day, and I was like, what are you running the traffic ad for? Then we started talking about conversion rates. Then I started talking about like his thumbnails online. And I'm like, you need to have people standing. If you're going to be on a website, they need to be smiling. It's better to have women. Like, I'm talking to him about all these different things. And then I was like, but don't overthink it, because these are 1% differences, right? So the 500 versus 10,000 monthly listeners may only make a 2% difference, but it's like all these different things matter. And people just think having that one moment or that one goofy video is about to send them to the big leagues. And it's like, it's really not, because you don't know what you're doing.
The last thing I will say, if you're thinking of a stunt like that, just be careful. There's probably a much smarter way to go about this and do the research. Like, fire goes up fast. I don't know what else he was wearing, but, he really could have hurt himself. So he could have done, I'm not in the stunt space. We haven't really done any stunts on any of the stuff that we've shot yet, but he could have prepared to wear some breakaway pants or something. Like, it's something that comes off much faster. Like, just be careful, because there's been people that have actually gotten killed on video sets with guns and things like that. Just be careful with what you're doing because, I know people want attention, but don't sacrifice or risk your life to get it. It's wild. Hopefully you rely on your talent and your team and just building on small wins over time as opposed to trying to hit a grand slam by setting yourself on fire. Anyway, we can get into the next topic, Payne.
Are you at all familiar with the current Kanye lawsuit? There are several, but this is the one with producers.
I tap out of all things Kanye. When I see Kanye, I just continue to scroll.
Well, I think this was interesting because I feel like this maybe marks a change, or I hope it marks a change. I don't want to get prematurely hopeful about the producer community, but Kanye published Donda 2, which I didn't even know was a thing. If you're a super big Kanye stan, I guess you knew that Donda 2 already existed and has existed for years. It was recorded several years ago. Billboard writes mere hours after the Lost 2022 project, Lost, whatever that means. Mere hours after the Lost 2022 project hit streamers on Tuesday night, Ye, formerly Kanye West, revealed that he received threats of legal action from managers of producers who contributed to the album over financial compensation. So he took it down. And that part surprises me. It surprised me that someone threatened Kanye West with legal action and he actually listened and removed the song. Because it doesn't sound like he's been listening when he's gotten legal threats in the past. He didn't really listen about the Donna Summers sample clearance thing when they said no. He just ended up replaying the sample and dropping it anyway, and then they sued him, got the whole song taken down. He doesn't seem like he's in a space right now to listen to any sort of...
I think that's why he did it this time, because he thought he was invincible, and he actually got sued and really had to take it down.
Well, what are your initial thoughts about this? Because the internet is flooded with ideas.
I think the Donda 2 was when the thing that he put on the media player, right? When he dropped that, I think that was around that time. It was like still in the pandemic and people were just like, and I was like, this is interesting. I don't know why people would want a whole separate device, but shout out to him for selling his metadata on an old school device. I think it's interesting, especially because of the big names. I know we talked about it offline a bit, Payne, but the amount of names that are involved in this lawsuit, especially considering the status of producer that's a part of this, I think you may need to give a little bit more context. But basically, when you were breaking it down to me, I didn't realize that the main producer, one of the main producers cited in this is like, has been collaborating with Kanye for decades, but like has platinum, like some of the biggest songs in the world, but some of Kanye's biggest songs as well. And for him to disregard people like that, I think his statement, which read similar to the way that La Russell responded to the fan who was upset about him not showing up, his statement was kind of like, I was asked for $5 million by people that I taught how to produce. But if you look at the magnitude of the songs that came out, if you look at how long these people have been collaborating with him, like you said, Payne, this is like the FU lawsuit. Like I want exorbitantly more than it was actually worth because of all the pain and duress that I've had to deal with in this process. I don't know. It always shocks me when I see somebody collaborate with somebody like him for years on end, because I hear he's just like insatiable in the worst ways. But I don't know. It's a really unique, I don't understand why people mistreat people so much, especially people who, if you're just a transactional person and somebody's doing the transaction well enough for you to consistently collaborate with them, at least be decent at doing your side of the transaction. I'm a highly relational person, and I don't think transactionally, even though relationships are a transaction. So for me, I want to take care of my people and take care of them well, even if it's to my own detriment. It just blows my mind I just have no concept of what would go through somebody's mind who has the means to pay these people and the opportunity, but then there's some sort of weird hill that you're dying on. So I don't know. I don't really have any other thoughts, because I think he's a very interesting character, in a way that I'm just like, I feel like he's setting his pants on fire, but refusing to take them off. And he just keeps doing that. He, like, his whole wardrobe is just doused in lighter fluid. And he just keeps lighting himself on fire.
So what I've seen, and I don't know if it's like a trait of, people with narcissistic personality disorder, or just mean spirited or evil spirited people. It's like when they feel like they've given you something, they feel like they can take it back whenever they want, right? And sometimes what they feel like they've given that person, the other person doesn't see it that way. Like, you didn't give me that. Like, so that's what, when you read that piece of it, I feel like Kanye feels like he could do whatever he wants because he feels like he taught them how to produce. That was the word, right? That's what he said. He said, I taught them how to produce. So I think it's a trait of narcissistic personality disorder, or it's just a trait of being a trash person. Just because you've done something for someone, one, they might not have received that the same way. I'm sure this producer learned from a lot of other people to develop the skill set that he currently has today. If Kanye poured into him, I'm sure that he's not the only person he learned from. So he's over exaggerating the help that he's given this producer. But I just think that stay away from people like that. Stay away from if people feel like that they now have the right. Hop is like this, because not only did he go after me publicly, but he went after his former girlfriend or baby's mother, because he felt like, she got a lot of followers because she was with him and he would post her and things like that. So when there was an issue between them, he felt like it was within his right to like bash her on social media as well, and like take back some of the positivity that she got from being with him in the online space. Now he felt like it was his right to be able to like eat into that or take that back and turn the fans against her. So stay away from people like that. If you see somebody do that to someone else, they can do it to you as well. It's just a nasty trait if somebody's doing that.
And I really picked up on that when he shared that text exchange. But to your point, see, and I'm not like the biggest Kanye stan, and we talked about the stem player, and that was Donda 2 from what I looked up. So I want to talk about, well, number one, we covered the story about producers from Kanye's last two Vultures albums claiming they haven't been paid. I think these are different producers too. Donda 2 was finished in 2022. That was before Vultures 1 dropped, to put things into perspective. But backing up, the Donda 2 stem player generated millions of dollars. So according to Google, Kanye West claimed to have sold over 39,500 stem players, generating over 8.6 million in revenue because they were 200 each. He later reported 60,878 units sold within the week. However, Billboard reported that the total sales of the stem player, including the Donda version, reached a figure around 47,500 units. That's over $10 million. So the first Donda has 3.2 billion streams on Spotify alone. 3.2 billion streams on Spotify could generate between $9.6 and $16 million. Depends on a lot of factors. Streaming is weird. But that's just one platform. That's just Spotify. So 16 million potential dollars just on Spotify. The sum total of all Donda earnings just off streams alone could be in the tens of millions. We don't know, but that's the ballpark. So these producers, my third point is, as you were saying, Erinn, these producers, for sure, Boogs the Beast, they've worked on a lot of music. And this current lawsuit sounds cumulative. It's not just that they want $3 million for Donda 2, but there are 7 songs they produced. from Donda 2. And they said they didn't get paid for any of those. In the leaked text that their manager, Free Maiden, because he represents two of the producers, in the leaked text, he says, "We did not and do not consent to the usage of our work for Donda 2 or any Ye project." An alleged text from Free Maiden read in Ye's tweet. He owed us money for almost 3 years now. So I guess that's referring back to Donda 2 when it first came out and generated already tens of millions of dollars potentially. He's refused to pay, yet keeps stealing our work. So it sounds like this is a 3-year battle that is continuing. Like this has happened to me with rappers where a rapper will steal a beat a year ago, drop it. We have a whole situation. And then a year later, he drops another one that he didn't pay for. I'm like, why are we doing this again? And this is not someone at the Kanye level. This is someone at like the $500 a beat level, not 3 million. But to your point, Dame, Kanye used a really common music business tactic, and it's a deflection tactic. I don't know if it's a part of narcissism or being a sociopath. I don't know. But he tweeted, Free Maiden tried to charge me $3 million for these beats from people I showed how to make beats. So he's saying, I showed Boogs and all these other guys how to make beats. I want to be careful because I don't speak for any of these producers whatsoever. But what does that have to do with business? I hate when people weaponize loyalty in order to justify their disloyalty. It's like catching someone, your partner cheating, and them saying, well, I clean the house all the time. It doesn't make sense. I've seen this tactic used on so many producers. I put you in this position, or I got you this opportunity. You don't know the strings I pulled, and it's always the end result to take from that person. And people will say, well, I've been loyal to you, so you have to be loyal to me. No, loyalty isn't about hurting somebody else through some sort of disloyal act. Ultimately, there's no excuse for billionaires not paying people that they contracted. That's pretty cut and dry to me. But the part that makes me hopeful is that they're actually suing. Look, producers are generally scared to death to assert their rights, especially against giants in the music business, whether it's rappers, managers, labels, whoever. Maybe Kanye's less formidable right now because he's getting attacked on a lot of fronts. And it's obviously a position he put himself in. And then mistreating some of his most loyal producers isn't going to get him any extra support or sympathy from the public right now. But maybe this will start to spread. I don't know. I hope it starts to spread because I'm sick of hearing these stories. You know, like even the Tank story to an extent, it's like producers being told they're not worth equity. They're not at the level of the label or of the artist or of the songwriter, whoever. And it's like, how long is this going to go until something snaps and the pendulum swings the other way? Hopefully this is part of that.
I'm going to send that clip to a lawyer because there was some people that felt like Tank was right. And, you know, maybe it's something that we revisit in terms of how he was talking. I've always been in the artists I've worked with are either hip hop, mostly hip hop, you know, so there was no like, oh, send the beat out to do the chords and like, to me, a beat was a beat, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like separated into so many parts, but maybe the way Tank was talking about it, maybe there is more validity. It still didn't sound like it made sense, but maybe there was more validity than we knew. I don't know, but I'm going to send that clip to a lawyer to get their perspective. But the last thing I want to say on this one is, because I'm always trying to think of what's the learning that we're taking away. And I know this wasn't like the direct topic, but it made me think about, because when you start with people, say you start with a videographer and he's only charging you like $100, and then you guys both progress, you know, the expectation is not that you get $100 videos from this person forever, right? However, from that other person, you probably should continue to give them some type of discount to what your market rate is because you guys came up together. My point is just communicate, you know, let the person know, like, hey, you know, my video business is picking up. I'm starting to get, you know, $1,000 per video, you know, I have a family, blah, 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 whatever it is, you know. Hopefully the other person understands that, yeah, they've progressed too. They have the ability to pay more than $100. that person can no longer just accept $100 a video. Just communicate. Like it just comes down to communication, so that you guys are on the same page. No rational person is going to think that they can just pay you $100 forever. Like you're in your late teens, doing videos. Now you're in your 20s, late 20s, you're starting to grow. Like that person should know that $100 is not going to cut it forever. So just manage that communication, and hopefully you guys can both be respectful and still do good business and grow together.
And to the Tank thing, I mean, yeah, anything is legal in the music business. People get fucked over every day. Okay, that doesn't mean shit to me. I don't give a fuck. If someone can get away with fucking someone over that contributed to the creation of a song, and then they minimize that contribution after the fact, fuck them. I don't have any respect for people like that. And so I think a lawyer would absolutely say, yeah, that's legal. But a lawyer would also say it's also fully reasonable for Tank to expect a percentage for writing a bass line and writing a drum part and arranging and sequencing and adding additional counter melodies and this and that. I mean, you can give anyone, managers now who don't touch the musical process, executive producers traditionally who didn't touch the musical creation process, were getting cut in on the equity of songs. So I don't want to hear that shit. Anyway.
I understand that piece, but it sounds like he's talking about something very technical. Like, what does it really mean to write a song? Like, what's is every sound a part of writing the song? This is where I'm a little bit out of my waters. Like,
and
so
they don't know. Remember the Steely and Clevie lawsuit where everyone swears up and down you cannot copyright a drum pattern. And I dove deeply into legal scholarship with precedents for that, legal precedents, cases in which drum breaks were duplicated and then there were legal repercussions. People swear up and down, oh, Pan, you don't know what you're talking about. You should read more. Fuck off. I'm not, I don't give a fuck. I read some shit with words that you've never seen in your life and understood it. Stop playing with me about this legal shit. The fact is, it's convoluted. I know what you're saying, and I know what they're saying, and I appreciate everyone's opinions. It's just that when we're looking at it as this is right because it's legal, or this is wrong because like if you can get away with it in the music business because it's illegal, that's not to me a reason.
But you're saying it's legal because he agreed to it. What I'm trying to better understand, and again, I'm still on our side of the fence here, but I've seen enough people comment that that I think have some decent experience for me to look into it a little more and see exactly what they're talking about.
I know there is, largely speaking, only melodic elements can be copyrighted, blah blah blah. But a bass line is a melodic element. People say the same thing about chords. You can't copyright a chord progression. So why is everyone emphasizing Diane Warren's contribution to the chord structure of the song? So a lot of people are just saying what they're saying because they want to play devil's advocate. And Diane Warren said she would never sell her equity in her songs because that would feel like selling her soul. And yet she can turn around and take Tank's soul and everyone defends her. Interesting to me. I think there's always more to the story than simply what's legal or what's ethical based on what's normalized in the music business. And so when someone's just copying and pasting copyright law without looking at specific legal precedents that fly in the face of those generally regarded as true copyright provisions, then that's not a conversation that's diving deeply enough for me. That's my thing.
Well, once again, we slammed Erinn's topic to like the very end, and I know she has to cut in 10 minutes or so. So let's get to Keke Palmer.
Yeah. So that help me. How do you deal with that? Well, like, I mean, now it's book. I mean, girl, I want to get like that, girl.
It's so funny that you say that, because honestly, what I did was went to social media. Because that's what kept happening to me. No way. And it's not only that I went to social media, but I went to social media with a plan where I would produce the kind of work that I wanted to star in.
Wow.
And so it's like, I hear this conversation a lot, and I have this conversation a lot with people that have started in social media. And it's this push against, I don't want to be in. But my advice would be to lean in harder and to produce traditional content on the format. And that would be the drive, because that's what I did. When I was doing traditional, they got tired of me. After True Jackson VP, they were like, okay, what's next? Who is she? What does she have to say? Really? And they weren't giving me a vehicle to show them because they were doing the same thing they're saying.
We can cut it, Pain.
Doing stuff, and it's like, we don't know, we don't see it. And so I started producing my own work, and I started taking what I was earning from social media, from my brand deals, and creating content. You know, I did Turned Up with the Taylors. That was something that it was a character off my page. Yeah. It turned into an Emmy. What? You know, and so that's me leaning into the digital space further, but in a more traditional way.
Yeah, so I love this clip. Dame, I want to get your take on it first, because you work in the social space, but y'all are also producing real films, real movies. You've done a lot of different tactics that she's spoken about, but I really want to get your take on this.
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity right now, and we're doing it at this moment. You know, Big Ja hasn't had anybody come to the table and give him any kind of deal. It's still crazy to me that he's built the community that he's had, because he's way past where Issa was when Awkward Black Girl turned into Insecure. Like, his digital presence now was probably 4 or 5 times the size of where Issa was at that time. But yeah, the filmmakers, creators, you know, you have to create what it is that you want to, whatever your end goal is. That's why I always talk to, you know, a lot of these content creators are just creating short form content for attention. If you go to their page, it's not really a resume for what they want to do long term. They're just trying to get as many views as possible. And I always tell creators, like, hey, like, what's your end goal? Like, what's your end goal? Oh, you want to be in television and film. Oh, you want to be in movies. Well, the content that you create today, whether it's 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like, has to show that you have some of the foundational elements and you're building the skill set in order to be where you say you want to be, you know, 5 years down the road. Looks like we lost Erinn. But we have the resources and the tools now to create things ourselves. So that's what Ja has done. Like, Ja is creating like real high quality. We call them web series because they're on the web, but at the same time, we put them on Tubi and they're TV ready should anybody want to pick them up. So, you know, there's a lot of attention in the writing of these series. There's a lot of intention in the character development, the story development, and how we shoot it, because we ultimately want to be on bigger platforms. So we have to show that we can create content that deserves to be on bigger platforms. So I love what Kiki said in that video, and you know, we're living that right now, and hopefully we start to see some of the results that Kiki's seen in recent years.
Yeah, and I wonder if, you know, because Kiki said a lot without saying too much, and it was curious to me where I think on all the celebrities that had really amazing runs and then suddenly they just disappeared. And it sounds like she was feeling at risk of that. And as a result of leaning in and then building her own platform, she resisted that. So, and, you know, granted, that wasn't really something that was available 20 years ago. But I wonder how many celebrities, especially Black celebrities, just disappeared into obscurity because they didn't have that option. And is, you know, just like when we're talking about Kanye and the producers fighting back, this seems to be like a trend that's already underway. But I still feel as though a lot of people aren't comfortable doing that. And the people that lean into it, granted, it's not for everybody. Like, not everybody's a Keke Palmer, but she has the right personality and the right ambitions and the right goals and the right team and the right people around her to pull this off. Not everyone can pull it off, but when people do pull it off, and it doesn't have to, I don't think it has to be a podcast. I don't think that's the only way a celebrity can leverage their social media following in order to build their own platform. It doesn't have to be that. And you're seeing a lot of celebrities do different things that aren't as public facing, but I would love to see that more for the people that aren't quite at the point where they're icons, but they have talent and don't deserve to just disappear into obscurity when Hollywood stops fucking with them, you know?
And she wasn't just talking about it. Like, she actually produced like shows that she put on her YouTube channel, right? And, you know, obviously Kiki has more resources than most, but again, it start where you are, right? Like, there's a young lady, her name's Shauna, I forget her last name, but we've been talking with her because we want to work with her because we can identify the talent that she has. Like, she's been creating these web series in which she plays every single character. So you can really see that she's developing acting chops, but it was probably born out of necessity. I don't know this for sure, but it was probably born out of necessity. She probably just didn't have somebody to play these different roles and was like, fuck it, I gotta shoot this content, so let me go. So does it look the best? No, we can tell that she doesn't have the resources to really make it look like Sinners, right? In Sinners, Michael B. Jordan played two people and it looked like two people because they have millions and millions of dollars to make it look that way. But we can see the vision and we can see the talent. So you have to just start where you are, create what you want, but it always starts with where you see yourself long term. You know, see wherever you see yourself long term, like, what does that mean for you? What do you need to do today to take one step closer to what may be 10,000 steps out? So, because I see a lot of people that say they want to be in movies and films and they're on their Instagram doing like pranks and shit. I'm like, what that got to do? What does pranks have to do with you wanting to star in your own version of Sinners 10 years down the road? It's getting you a lot. Yeah, it's getting you a lot of likes and attention, but going back to our first topic, but what is it getting you the attention for?
Yep.
So
is it attention plus intention? And that's the problem. A lot of people want attention without any intention.
Exactly. I've seen so much of that, you know, since I've stepped over more into the creator space, not just the music space. Mm-hmm. You know, I give that same advice all the time.
Well, and then the other thing too is it's a lot like music, right? Like the musicians, the rappers that are big with the major label system behind them, they don't want to go independent. We look at the artist, the trajectory, the common trajectory is you start unsigned, independent, then go to major. It's not the other way around. Most people don't do the Russ thing. And I think that's the reason why you bring up Russ as not the best example, because most people don't have it in them to do that. The vast majority, especially when you've already gone to the top of the major label system, you're not going to be able to go back, transition into being independent or unsigned or DIY and actually succeed at it. Russ is different because he started there, went up, and then went back down to it. And I don't think we can find many people who have done that. I don't think we were able to find anyone who did it. But there's got to be that stigma in Hollywood too, where it's like, Keke Palmer, you've been in these major studios. Why would you go back to Instagram? Why would you degrade yourself? Why would you lower yourself to making TikToks? And a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, but you gotta, again, I wish I would remember the matter of fact, I'm going to try to find it now so I can give her a shout out. So people can go and see what I mean. Because she's doing what she can with what she currently has today. And it's not letting her stop her and be like, oh man, damn, I don't got a great camera, so I gotta wait. You know, oh, I don't have this person, so I gotta wait. Shout out to Shauna Solomon, at Shauna Solomon. Go check out some of her work. And here's the thing, like the last piece of content got 174 likes, 30 comments. So she's not popping, but like I always say, a lot of times it's not about how many views you got, but it's who viewed your video. And it came across, not that we can blast you to stardom or anything, but it's another, Ja can definitely give you more visibility on your profile. So when she starts appearing in Ja's content, she'll get more views, she'll get more likes. But it's starting now. And like I said, only how many followers does she have? She's got almost 8,000, which is solid, but it's not, nobody's going to look at that and be like, oh man, she's popping. But we can tell that she's building the foundation and she cares about this shit. And that's the kind of people that we want to work with, people that really care about the craft. And that shows that in the content that she puts out.
But speaking of putting out content, if you're a musician, you got to put out music. You just do. And a lot of people don't want to deal with distribution. They don't want to deal with paying for it. Easy solution. Download the Too Lost app or go to toolost.com. Use the code MEC, get 3 months free. You can use the app to upload the music too. Get your music up on the streaming platforms. Start getting comfortable. Start getting familiar with the format. Get the music out there. 3 months is a lot. You can put a lot of music up. Even if you're lazy and you only get one song up a week, that's 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of, how many songs is that? 12 songs. So by the end of the 3 months, you'll have 12 songs out. And you can, release them you can date them for a future release. There are all types of things that you can do. And I would just encourage you to start. It's not about becoming a superstar overnight. It's about starting and building a foundation. But this is one easy and free way to get started, at least on the distribution side of your music career. toolost.com or go to the Apple Store and look for the Too Lost app. Code is MEC, and let us know if you are doing that, especially if you're using the app. Let us know in the comments, and we appreciate you tuning in to another episode of MEC Podcast. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.